Hello everyone, and welcome to the sixth episode of the Gen X podcast series. And today we have with us Mr. Omkar Shinde. And in this episode, we'll be discussing about college and entrepreneurship. And we'll be talking about how to start your own startup while you are in college. And also, Omkar will be sharing his entrepreneurship and his startup experience with us. So, hey guys, my name is Sanmay, and you're watching Tech Masti. So, let's get started. First of all, Omkar, welcome and thank you for being here today. And Omkar, can you just give a brief introduction about yourself and about the startups you had?
So first of all, before starting this podcast, I want to first thank you, Tanmay. A big thanks to you for inviting me as a guest for your podcast, and you are doing an amazing job and keep doing the great work. So coming back to my introduction, so like as you are guys, like as Tanmay introduced you all to me, as I'm an entrepreneur and also a community evangelist, I am working with a lot of communities. So my basic introduction is kind of I'm a young entrepreneur. Why I call myself a young entrepreneur? Because I started my first startup when I was 19 years old, when I was a second year student. So it's very hard to believe that because a lot of student entrepreneurs are there, but there are very less entrepreneurs from the tier 3 colleges. And I was one from the tier 3 college. Like I am not from a tier 1 college. So that separates, and I was the only entrepreneur in my college to be in the startup culture for such a long time. Like right now, if you see me, like I have founded three startups. The name of those three startups is, the first is Artistic Lane, which I found in 2018. Then comes Industry Inspired Talks, which I found in 2020, August of 2020, in this nationwide lockdown. And the third startup, which I started recently, is called Community X, which was founded in May 2021. So I have a series of experiences with startups, and I have worked with a lot of communities like Dave Incept, Script Foundation, CompTIA, Microsoft Learn, Student Ambassadors. So all these are part of my experiences, and that's why I call myself a community evangelist, because I've built my startups coinciding with the communities, and also I've worked with a lot of communities. So that's all about me. And apart from that, I've won a lot of awards. I have won two awards and also featured in College magazine, nominated for Forbes. So all these things have been are part of my extracurricular activities. But I feel that these things played an important role in shaping my life and career.
Okay, that was excellent information about yourself, Omkar. And let's get started with this episode. The first and the most important question is, how do you analyze and select a topic for your startup, and how did you did that?
That's an excellent question, Tanmay. I think a lot of students are kind of not looking to that aspect, but this is the most important step, the ideation phase, okay, which we call. And the ideating process is very important because everything which you do in future is based on your idea which you started from scratch. Okay. So ideation is the very important thing, and how to analyze. Okay. I'll tell you first about the ideation process. Okay. So how do you ideate about your startup? First of all, you have to scan your personal interest, like whatever you love. Okay. Whatever is your passion, you have to scan your personal interest and pick a startup according to that. Okay. Or launch your idea in that specific industry. For example, I'll give you a basic example of what the ideation means. So let's take an example of my startup, which is Industry Inspired Talks, which I started in August of 2020. So the basic idea of this organization or this community was to help students become industry ready. Okay. So with your idea, you also need a purpose. You also need a mission and vision, which can define your startup, which can define your startup goals. Okay. And also tell students, like tell your audience that what you are coming up in future. Okay. So the ideation phase, and also along with ideation, you have to do a lot of research. Okay. A lot of research is by that I mean competitor research, market research, all these things you need to do in order to analyze your startup. Okay. Like how well it would do in the next 5 years. You have to analyze all these things on the basis of your competitors, the market research. You have to see whether your business model fits in the industry you are entering into. Let's say you are entering into the e-learning industry. You have an e-learning startup where you provide courses and open source education. So you should have a purpose. Also, you should have a business model. And on the basis of these things, like the market research, the competitor analysis, all these things, and the mind map also, like how your startup, the working model of your startup. So all these things you have to analyze, you have to ideate your processes, and then only then you have to take that next step to like start working on the project and like like I'll cover the next steps in the next question. Okay, so this is the things which you need to do first. Okay, the very first steps of your when you are creating your own startup. Okay, and the analysis also I told you. So market research and competitor analysis will give you a better idea of where you actually stand, where does your startup stand, how your startup is different. So all these analysis would give you an idea, and then you will be very sure shot that this idea would work. Okay, after doing all these analysis. Yeah,
Okay. And
so that's it.
after you have selected your idea and you are good to go with that, so how should you proceed with that, and how is the initial steps?
Again, a very great question. I think a lot of students, like after covering this part where I talk about the research and the analysis, then comes like after selecting like how should we proceed? Okay, like that's the very important question. Like we have an idea, we have done a proper research. So next thing is you need to work on your business model. Okay, business model means for example, your startup is into logistics. Okay, you are delivering something like for example take ship rocket. Okay, they are delivering they are offering delivery services for a very affordable cost. Okay, so you have to figure out your business model first. In that business model you have to again look over to like the analysis part. Okay, in the business model, like whatever steps you are taking, whatever steps you are planning, is it going to it's going to help your startup succeed in future. So you have to think from multiple perspectives. It's not like you are just thinking one perspective, because your one perspective would satisfy one aspect. Okay, what about the other aspects, what about the other perspectives? So thinking from a multiple perspective, creating a strong business model which has a purpose is kind of the next step. And also, like once you have a business model, you should definitely gather your own stride, your own team who can work on your startup project. And along with that, you have to also come up with a marketing strategy which can give you that initial boost in the market. Okay, initial things which you need to do, all these things which you do, you want a lot of people to know about it, to know about your startup. So the marketing strategy which you initially plan and plot would definitely yield better results in future. Okay, so that's all which you need to do. Like where if like your ideation phase is done, and now you are going into the phase where you are actually starting to work on your idea, actually starting to work on your prototype, your project, whatever it is, which you are going to then launch in the market, and lot of people, a lot of students, or your target audience basically is going to use it and is going to benefit out of it and be a part of your extended large community.
Okay. And when starting this, you're starting your startup when you're in college, like you did. So, how should you manage your academics and the startup? How should you plan all the things?
Yeah, so a lot of students and I ask me about these things. Like I do a lot of things. So like one part in the introduction I missed, because that is my quality. Okay, and I think I don't know like all the students have this quality or not. The quality of multitasking. Okay, the multitasking quality should be there in each and every student. I think they should have this multitasking ability. Okay, so managing academics with the startup was, for me, it was a tedious task when I initially started with all these things. But day by day, when I started, like when I polished my management skills, it helped me over time. Okay, it helped me gather my first team. Okay, who can work with me on this project, because you cannot do anything alone. Okay, you need a team beside you who can work with you and lead your startup to success. Like all the startups like operate similarly like that. There is a core team which works on the startup, so it's not like a one man show. Okay, you are not the sole one to like do all the things. So my team and the management skills which I had helped me in managing both my academics as well as my startup. Okay, so I what I used to do is, I'll tell you my example, how I used to work on my startup. So in the morning when I had my college, I used to go to college. Okay, and till 4 or 5 my college was there. And after that, when I came back, I used to work on like doing my assignments and all these things which are given to me as a college student. All the college work I used to do. And at night, okay, after 12, okay, I used to like I mean it. I still do it. I still I'm not. You can call me an insomniac person or that. I don't know, but I love working at night. Okay, especially from the time like from 12 a.m. to 5 a.m. Okay, this time I'm very much creative. I have done all the work, the editing stuff, all the startups, like whatever work was involved in this, I used to work at night. Okay. And the management task is you have to give tasks to your team members in order to get the whole, like the flow of your startup going. Okay. Because as I said, it's not a one man show. You should have a team beside you who thinks like you, who is like minded like you, who wants to see the startup grow as you see. Okay. So you need certain like minded people to be a part of your team. And if you have a team, you can definitely manage both the academics as well as your startup. Okay. It's not difficult. It's fairly easy. You have the management skills, so you can simply give them tasks and they can do what you do as like when you are doing singly. Okay. When you are doing it alone. Okay. A team can like ease your process, like ease a lot of things for you. Okay. And it's very important to have a team in order to manage your academics and your startup. So that's, I feel like that's what I have done. And doing like giving that extra hours is also important. As a founder, it was my responsibility. Like even if I have a team, I had to take that next steps. Okay. I had to think about the future, about our new services. So all these things, I was the one taking the lead on it. Okay, taking the initiative, thinking, brainstorming with my team, like connecting with my team on daily basis in meetings, like a product meeting, a marketing meeting. So in that, I used to guide them on how can they upskill in their career. So if when you are upskilling, you should also help your team upskill, so that once you reach a stage, you are a kind of a group of like-minded individuals who are never going to fail because you have a lot of experience, you have been into that industry and you have worked a lot. Okay. And managing, as I told you, is like if you do similar to me, I don't think so if people can work at nights or not. But if you can manage your time well, time management and work management, if you work on these aspects and if you develop your management skill and you have a team alongside you, you'll definitely be able to manage your startup like very easily. Okay. It's like it will become kind of your daily routine. Okay. So it's like for me, it's like that.
Okay, so in short, you can say that proper time management and a proper team is the main key here.
Yes, absolutely.
And next question is that like while thinking of a startup, like usually people think about how to get fundings for their startup at initial stage. So according to you, how important that initial funding is, and should all startups consider funding at their initial stages?
So Tanmay, that's an amazing question. A lot of people don't talk about funding. It's what I feel when like a lot of people, a lot of entrepreneurs I've seen, they initially start their like startup journey as a non-profit thing. Okay, just like I have done. Like, but I have done for a cause, for a purpose. But for others who are starting, they like their ideas like they don't know how to, because in funding, whenever you are like approaching an investor or whenever you are approaching a venture capital, you should have a pitch deck. Okay, they call something as a pitch deck. A pitch deck is basically, it's a deck, like it's kind of a PowerPoint presentation, or maybe you can say a basic representation about your startup with all these things: the revenue model, business model, then the engagement model. All these things are in the pitch deck. Okay, and that pitch deck gives a complete idea to the investor, like whatever money he's investing in your startup, what are the returns he'll get. Okay, because whenever somebody is investing in your startup, he must get some returns. Okay, and that's the reason why these people invest, these investors invest, angel investors and all these things. So initially when you start your startup, I think you should not think about funding. You should know a lot. Okay, you should have knowledge about how to apply to funding and all these things. So that knowledge you must have. But initially when you start, you should work on like gathering your initial customer base. Okay, like which is kind of in an organic way. Okay, whatever you're doing, there are certain people who are following you. And initially when if you develop your customer base, you can also like build a good revenue by like without funding. Okay, if you have a good customer base who is using your product or your service. So it's very important, like funding should be the second parameter. If say you need a lot of funds to execute your idea, then that cases the funding is effective. Okay, because it's going to yield you results as well, and you have a good ROI. Okay, return on investment. So the investor will invest a lot of funds in you, and it's a win-win situation for both of you. Okay, you will grow as a startup. You can pay your employees, plus you have surplus for profit which you make out of the money which is invested in you. So funding should be there. Okay, funding is important, but not at the initial stage. So your question, I think, was about the initial phase. So
Yeah.
in initial phase, you should always like kind of not think about funding, but funding should you should have basic funding knowledge, okay, and you should prepare your pitch deck accordingly when you start from a funding point of perspective, so that later on in the next 5 years, when you are trying to get big, like when you're trying to make a bigger impact, when there is a lot of money involved, you should need a pitch deck, and which you can like share with the investor, and in it, then the investor can give you with the funding if he agrees with the plan, if he sees the vision in your startup, and also the return on investment factor is very large, like as the funding, like the person who is funding you is expecting. So it's like that. So funding process is very tedious, okay, but if you have good proper knowledge, if you have good proper guidance, if you have mentors, and if you have a very scalable business model which can earn a lot of revenue, then I think you should think about funding. Initially, if you're a non-profit organization or anything of that sort, you should work on gathering your customer base rather than funding. Okay, so these people are going to give you that money, the revenue. If it's a profit-based organization and you are working with a lot of customers, so there are two ways of doing it: the funding one, and the second is like bootstrapping. Okay, like taking your startup from zero to like a lot of success, okay, without pumping in money, and just on the basis of the revenue earned from your customers. So that's bootstrapping. That's very important thing. And a lot of, if you have heard about Mac App Studio, it's a kind of, it's a like a startup started by two founders, okay, where they are providing information technology and all these services, okay, solutions to problems. So they have bootstrapped their startup from 0 to 1 million. So it's so great to see that their customer base are they expanded in various regions without funding, okay, but just by providing like accurate services, and the customers are happy, so they grew. So sometimes funding is required, sometimes not, but in the initial it's not required. It's what I think.
Okay. Yeah, that was a great explanation about how you can manage without funding also. So the next, after you have got your idea, after you are set to go in the initial stages, so how can you make people aware about your startup? How can you spread the word? And what are the best platforms for that?
So I think when you start initially, you are the one who is knowing that idea. Okay, you
Yes.
are the pioneer of that startup. You know how the startup works in and out. So you are the best person to tell anyone that what this startup is or how does it work. Okay, so when you want to make people, like a lot of people, know about your startup. Okay, let's say you're just starting out. So there are some amazing platforms for you where you can like start your like company page and start like sharing your content, like sharing the things which you do as a startup. So one best platform which I use in my daily life, and I have faced a lot of like, I've seen a lot of results out of it. Okay, a lot of growth out of it. So that's LinkedIn. Okay, and LinkedIn is basically, I'm not saying creating your personal brand or creating a personal profile. I'm talking in terms of how can your startup become a personal brand on LinkedIn. So for that, you need to go to LinkedIn and create your company page on LinkedIn. On that company page, you have to, that's the platform. LinkedIn is the platform with a good user retention. So you get a lot of like a lot of engagement on your posts. Okay, and as you are like going into the professional network, you are going into the professional phase. Your startup is very much professional. So I think you should choose a professional platform. In today's day and age, LinkedIn is the answer. Okay, so be on LinkedIn. Start creating content which can give you a lot of customers, a lot of users on LinkedIn through this company page, okay, where you post all your updates, okay. You also have some groups, okay, which you can create on LinkedIn, and also network with a lot of people. Share your ideas, share your content. Like the more you, like the more consistent you are on creating content, the more growth you achieve in future. Okay, so if you have heard about, here also I have an example. If you have heard about Pepper Content, so it's a startup, like content based startup which was started to provide content services. So this startup rose, like in less than a month they rose from zero to more than 50,000 followers. So this was their growth on the basis of the content. This is the power of content. Okay, you need not to have any money or any kind of anything, any revenue to invest in your marketing and all these. A lot of companies do that. They like invest in the, like what you can say, they organize campaigns, basically marketing campaigns, which can help them grow. But the original thing is, you need not to invest any money in marketing. I have seen this. To give you a perfect example, our industry Inspire Talks platform, the LinkedIn page, there was one time when we crossed 100K impressions, 100K people like visited our page. Okay, and that too also without spending any money on marketing. It was all organic growth. Okay, it was all organic impressions, which I'm telling you here. Because for me as a student, I didn't have much money to spend on all these things. I was just looking to get things for free. Okay, do things for free. So then I started working on myself, on my content, whatever like idea I have, I portrayed it through my content. Okay, so that a lot of students, a lot of audience can connect with them. Okay, a lot of students can be helped by whatever I'm doing for the community under industry Inspire Talk. So that yielded me a lot of results. Okay, a lot of students, entrepreneurs, and working professionals got to know about our platform. And now we can proudly say, like, on the basis of the content we have created, on the basis of the things we have done, we have a very good reputation in the industry just because of that. So a platform should be there. It's what I feel, to get you heard. Okay, but initially, I think like you just have to start. Okay, that's all I can say. Like, because these things, which these achievements which I shared with you, these things are not achieved like in just 1 or 2 days. You have to work on yourself. You have to work on a lot. Okay, you have to work on your idea. You have to work on how can you like create such creative design which can yield you better engagement and reach. Okay, in the organic fashion. Okay, once you do that, once you have done, like in just 3 to 4 months, you'll get to like experience the results. Okay, you'll get to see your startup and all your pages, all these things are growing. Okay, just because you have invested in a lot of hard work in those 3 to 4 months, and that help you grow, help your startup grow over time. So consistency is the key here. Okay, you have to be very consistent and very creative as well. You have to deliver whatever services you provide in such a way that it attracts a lot of people. It attracts a lot of customers to you. Okay, so it's very important. These things which I told you, they are very important if you want to grow. And LinkedIn is the best platform till date, I can say. And everyone should start their startup journey, whatever services they are providing, or even they're starting their career. They should like opt for LinkedIn and not go to any other social media platform. Okay, because here it's all about professional growth. It's all about your startup growth. It's all about your customer growth. So LinkedIn is only the one answer to all these problems. Okay, so it's like that.
Okay. And when you have a startup or an organization, a community plays a key role here. Like the like-minded people are there who will support your organization. So how can you create such community and how can you manage the same?
Again, a good, great question, Tanmay, because communities are discarded. It's what I feel initially. Now we are doing in a lot of things, and people and students are realizing like the real importance of communities in your life, in your career, because the communities which I run actually help students, actually help people to make a difference in their careers. Okay, so talking about industry inspire talk and also about Dave Incept, it's a community which provides free technical education. Okay, for students through our courses and through our programs. So communities play an important role. If you see any big company, any big shot company, Google, Microsoft, Facebook, Amazon, all these companies have their community. Okay, who are using their service, who are buying their services, buying their products. Okay, using their app. So all these people are part of your community. The word community is not used there because they like try to use this thing as kind of there is a term called as a user base, so they call it user base. So what is a user base? Basically the one who is using whatever you are providing. Okay, so these things, these people follow you, these people use your things, so these people are part of your community. Okay, in short, in simple words. Okay, and a community should be there and it plays a vital role in boosting your like organization, like organization growth. Okay, for me, my community is my strength. Okay, without my community, industry inspire talks is no one. Without my community, Dave Incept is no one. All the communities which I'm part of, they are doing something or the other. Similar with the companies as well. They are providing a service or they have a product or they have a hybrid model where they have a product in that they are providing services. So any person, anyone who is using is part of the community. And I think every startup or every organization, anyone who is starting up, they should work on this community aspect. They should work on building their community. Then and only then they'll be getting organic growth and the people who are actually following them. Okay, Okay, just like you see all these influencers, okay, all these people, Jay Shetty and everyone. So they have a community where they interact with them, and these people are following them. Okay, so a community should be there, and a community would make you a kind of an influencer as well. Okay, so a community also builds your character. So all these things are very important. If you are looking forward to start your startup, try to work on your community. Try to form your own stride. Try to form your own community. The people who can follow you, who can take avail your services and get benefited. Okay, and also like giving back when it time, give back to the community, give back to the things they have done to you. Okay, express your feelings. Do like just like the interview I'm doing right now. I'm giving back whatever I'm learning, whatever I've learned over time. It's very important because you should, in a community, it's a combined learning. You learn as well as other people also learn. Like if I'm talking it from a learning point of perspective, okay, from a startup point of perspective, start building your community in order to get organic growth. That's all I can say.
Okay, and this is the most important question I feel. Like when you start something new, like any startup or anything new, which is unique in your ideas, unique in thought. So the first thing that comes is people do not support that, and the term that is here is the haters. So how do you overcome that haters, and how do you can be positive throughout?
So that's again a great question because haters were a part and parcel of my life. I have gone through like a lot of situations which I might not tell you about it right now here, but I've faced a lot. Okay, in my previous early ages of my career, I faced a lot of rejections. I've faced a lot of failures. A lot of people have discarded me. They criticized me. They also were saying like this idea is not going to work. All these things I faced in life. Okay, all these things I've faced in earlier stages of my career. But I feel these things should happen. Okay, like I'm talking this from not a negative point of perspective, but from a positive point of perspective. Because haters and supporters are kind of two sides of a coin. Like they are exactly the same, but there are some negatives and there are some positives in life. So supporters help you in the positive way. They boost you, they encourage you, and that's how you grow. That's one way to grow, like grow yourself. And the second way is like the whatever the haters are telling you, whatever how the way are they criticizing you, you should not be angry at all. Okay, because whatever they say actually is the truth. Sometimes they are just jealous and they are saying, but sometimes it's the truth. So you have to accept that, okay, and you have to work on yourself and you have to prove them wrong. This is the best way. That's the second way to grow. Okay, where you put yourself in such situations like saying like why that person is not supporting me, why he's criticizing me. This why, okay, why? I want to find the answers to this why. Okay, so this is how I started. I wanted to find the answers to all these questions. Find like I wanted to prove the people who didn't believe in me. Okay, not criticizing them, but just giving them a realization that this idea which I am working on is definitely worth it and it's definitely going to impact a lot of lives in future. Not because I am not yielding good results right now, that doesn't mean I'll be not successful in future. Your future is completely up to you. It's how you create. Okay, it's like that. And haters or anyone cannot stop you if you are competing with yourself. You are like looking your like you are planning your own future. Okay, so these things would happen. These things are part and parcel of life. And for me, initially I used to think a lot. I used to be a lot of like I used to like be depressed by the things which happened to me. But right now, by the things I'm doing right now, by the skills I've gained over time, I'm very much positive and I'm filled with positivity. And any negative comment or any people who are trying to criticize me, it cannot bog me down. Okay, because I'm already like at a level where I don't like care about these things. Okay, I do care to prove them wrong. Okay, because at some point I want to make them realize that you criticize me for this thing, but I did this. Okay, I did it. Okay, so you should always be very positive. It's what I feel, and always be motivated. And having this goal oriented mindset is very important. Set goals for yourself. Okay, don't see to other people, even though those goals may sound stupid to you. Okay, but those are your goals. Those are your dreams. That is your motivation, or that is your like vision to create a startup which can yield better results and help the community, like set to impact and success. Okay, so these are all small goals which you see. So it's very important to protect yourself, protect your goals. Okay, nurture your goals. Okay, and work on yourself. Okay, work on your skills, because in today's day and age, the only thing which you can learn is you can learn new skills. Okay, which can help you, which can take you a step ahead. Okay, and which can separate you from the rest in your class. Okay, and also prove your haters wrong. So if you gain a lot of skills, you will definitely be successful in future. It's what I feel. And haters, as I said, they are going to revolve around you. It's going to be like they're not going to stop. Okay, they're going to come every time when you are doing something new. Okay, but it's your life, it's your goals. Okay, it's your vision. Okay, and whatever you think, because you believe in your whatever goals you have. You believe in yourself. Okay, you believe in your startup. So have that belief. Okay, and this doesn't mean that you didn't get results in all these times. You should not be demotivated. Okay, this is life. Sometimes you fail, sometimes you succeed. Okay, if failure comes in, it's going to give you a lesson as well. Okay, which you can further work on. Okay, so it all happens for a reason, Tanmay. Okay, it's like that. So the main thing is you have to be motivated and just discard all these people. Just focus on proving them wrong and have your supporters. Okay, build your professional network. All these people would help you achieve your goals. Try to don't focus on them, but try to go in a group of people who are like-minded, who want to become successful. Then and only then, like your network is your network. That's all I can say. Okay, so it's very important, and don't do anything like which is kind of so that's all. That's all. So that's all. Yeah.
Yeah. That was a really great answer, Omkar. And as it is said, heaters are a part of your success. So it is well said, actually. And the next question is that what changes you feel in yourself before starting these startups and after starting.
So it's what I say. The biggest thing which I've earned myself is skills. The skills I have. Okay. When I started, let me just give you a walkthrough about my career. Okay. When I started in 2017 as an engineering student, I was very nervous. Okay. I was not at all a good public speaker, a good communicator. Okay. Not a good leader. Okay. Not a good management person, not a networker. Okay, all these no's, okay, all these negative points, all these skills, okay, I have developed over time by doing all these things, working with communities, founding my startups, okay, doing internships, all these extracurricular activities, which I encourage people to do. I encourage students to be a part of, because it definitely changes your life. Okay, it changes your life. Okay, so I'll tell you the skills which I have earned up till date. Okay, so the first skill I'll say public speaking skill I have earned over the time. As I told you earlier, I was not a public speaker, but I used to speak at events. I used to organize events. I used to talk to a lot of people. So that is where my public speaking skills improved over time. So the next skill I developed is the marketing skill. Okay, by being campus ambassadors for companies, by like talking a lot about companies, organizing seminars, I had the skill. I developed the skill to pitch, or maybe to pitch an idea or pitch something like which is from a marketing perspective. Let's say I'm pitching a course to you which can further benefit you in life. So that pitching skill, that marketing skill also developed over time. Then the third skill is communication skill. You can see me now how I'm talking, but initially when I started as a first year student, I was not a good communicator. As I told you, I used to stammer. I used to think and speak. I was not good at English. Okay, I was just speaking my native language every time. Okay, I was not focusing on the communication part. Okay, because in the industry, communication plays an important role. When you are trying to pitch everything to your clients, or maybe talk to your like your managers and all these things, you have to talk from a professional format. Okay, professional like talking should be there. Okay, it's not like a day-to-day talk as we do right now. So that communication skill also developed over time. So the fourth skill which I talked to you about is the management skill. So management is like all types of management: time management, work management, okay, resource management. All these management skills like which can help you manage your startup. Like when I was managing my startup, when I was managing all the people in the community, this management skill also developed over time. Okay, and the next skill is the networking skill. Right now, as I told in the previous answer, the network which we have is our network, because a network you have right now would help you grow professionally. Okay, would help you become the person you always wanted to become in life. Okay, because a network, a professional network building is very important. If you don't have a professional network right now, go to LinkedIn and start connecting with people, because professional network, even if you have skills, even if you have knowledge, if you don't have a network, you are nowhere. Okay, all these things can be done, but forming a network is also very important. Like the people who are like-minded, staying in their network, so that networking skill also like develops over time. The next skill you get out of it is kind of the networking skill. You get other skills as well, okay, which can, so these are part of your professional skills which you can get out of this like skill building thing. So for me, my skills are my money. Okay, it's like that. Like whatever skills I've learned over time has helped me progress in my career, and there is a lot to learn. Okay, it's what I feel. And also one more skill I developed is the entrepreneurial skill. Okay, the skill to think innovative, the skill to think outside the box. Okay, the skill to like go out of the way and do something which is not yet the uniqueness factor. Okay, you talked about. So that entrepreneurial skill also you develop over time. Okay, so all these skills would help you definitely in life. Okay, and also you can also, like if you are a coder of, or if you are very much tech oriented person, by being such part of communities, you can also develop your technical skills. Okay, so all these work experiences which I shared, all these experiences, like the extracurricular activities which I'm doing, helped me gain all these skills. Okay, because skills had made my life, because I didn't have these skills before. That's the reason why I was failing in whatever things I was doing. But right now I have all these skills, so I have a very smooth journey ahead of me, because I've already developed these skills which can help me ahead in my future. Okay, in my the career which I'm the path where I'm headed right now. Okay, to start my own startup, like the day I started, to getting these all skills, and now like living the dream is what I feel. Like initially, which seemed impossible to me, it's now seeming possible just because I have those right skills with me. So you should also try to learn some new skills which are trending right now in the market, which can like build your value in the industry, because you have to build your own value through these skills. Okay, because nobody is going to like give you a fair advantage, or maybe nobody is going to approach you. You have to approach them if you want to like start your initial career, start your career as a fresher. Okay, so skills help you a lot. Okay, I mean it. And you should also work on your skills and not think about money initially, because when you develop all these skills, you'll definitely get money. Okay, because for me, my skills are my money, as I said. So work on your skills, work on your self basically, and like make yourself the person you always wanted to become through getting those skills. Okay, and ace your career in style.
Okay, so according to me, there is one more skill, and you will also agree to that. That is, backing off from something like uh, when you think of getting into someone, there should be also a process of getting out of that thing. So, what you want to say about it? Like, there was a that it was your startup, like the first one you said, artistic lane. So, you recently, you stopped that, or you discarded that thing. So, how
Yeah.
important it is to back out from something? How important step it is?
Okay, so that's another question. Good question, Tanmay. So for me, backing out was something which is not working out for me. So I backed out. It's to be in kind of a simple answer. Okay, but now I want to go in the details part. Okay, so there are two parts in which you can back out. Okay, one is it's not working out for you. It's not yielding your result, or maybe it's not helping you earn a living. Okay, so that's the first part where you need to like have that realization that like you can change the situations, but like things are very worse for you. So it's a hard step for you to take, because any startup which you start, like when an entrepreneur starts, at the end part when he has to leave, he's not very happy. Okay, he's just discarding it just because it's all due to the situations which are around him. Okay, so that's the first part. Like that's the first time when you need to exit your startup. If you're not getting results, you've worked a lot, 3 to 4 years, still your idea is not working out. So it's very important to exit and start another similarly. Okay, start another startup which can, like in these 3 to 4 years, also work on that foolproof idea which can be your next startup. Okay, so that's one thing. Then the second part is if say like when you started the bootstrapping part, if you have made your company's value, let's say 1 billion or 1 million, okay, if you have made this company value and you are very much like aged right now, okay, for example, you have touched 50, 55, and you are very much like you are done, okay, with life, okay, and you just need to enjoy. So for that, if you can't handle that startup pressure and all these things, like the company and all these things, so basically the best thing to do is like try to sell your startup at the right time. Okay, right time is what I mean is which can give you the best value for your startup. Okay, that's the right time you can sell your startup. Let's say 1 million, 1 billion. These are very unicorn kind of priced values. Okay, where you get a lot and you can live your rest of your life in peace. Okay, and you can like it's like that. Okay, so there are two possibilities. One is not when you are not yielding results, and one is once your startup value is very large. Okay, the number is very large. Okay, and let's say your startup is listed in stocks as well. Okay, people are buying your stock. So that's the time like when you have a well like figure for your startup, like people are paying to you because if you can take an example, the WhatsApp founder. Okay, so the WhatsApp founder said like initially he was rejected by Facebook. Okay, but then he created WhatsApp, and then Facebook took the WhatsApp for a huge price. Okay, so that's where like you have to sell your startup for the right price. Okay, you should know, you should evaluate the price, and you should sell it and live your entire life in peace. So that's the two possibilities which I can think of, and I think that's the only two possibilities where I don't think there is another possibility where you can sell your startup or exit your startup. So these are the things which I feel it is.
Yes. And the last and the most important question, like, what are your future goals about your startup, and what you want to contribute more towards the community?
So the future goals is like that's a great question, and I want to mention here that for Industry Inspire Talks, we are coming up with a new concept which is called Inspire Class, which is kind of an in-class innovative learning concept where we'll use foundational learning and and also there would be involvement of industry experts, okay, in it, okay, who will act as mentors in order to like carry forward all these activities in the class you are attending. And when you are done with all these when you are done with the program, you graduate out of the 1 month class. Okay, so this is a basic idea about the Inspire Class thing, but I have a longer goal, or maybe you can say a larger goal for Industry Inspire Talk, because I want, like when I started, I wanted to surpass Joe Talks and TED Talks in order to like I want Industry Inspire Talks at that phase. Because I recall one thing, like like con- when I talk to people, a lot of people don't know about my startup. So that's one goal, is to make my startup known everywhere, all around the world, like for the things we are doing for the community. So that's my first future goal. Then the second is to grow both these startups, Industry Inspire Talks, and like not in terms of numbers. Okay, talking in terms of impact. Okay, I want to impact a lot of students' life. I want to make them industry ready through Industry Inspire Talks. And for Dave Incept, which is a community which I'm part of, we are currently growing rapidly, and like that is also a goal which I want, because I want to. I that startup is very close to my heart, because I like it's providing free technical education, and nobody in today's day and age provides you technical education for free. Okay, there are certain communities which are there, and we are also a community which is going out large. Okay, so for Dave Incept, we want to grow, like that's the growth factor in terms of numbers, as in terms of community members. Okay, in terms of the students we impact. And the third and foremost thing is I want to kind of get myself a degree in management. Okay, so initially, as you know, I am from engineering background, and I don't have any knowledge of management. All these things which I've learned throughout my career, throughout my life, is all through open education and experiential learning, which we are using here in Industry Inspire Talk. That is basically learning from others' experiences. Like similar this podcast which we are doing, I'm sharing my experience, and in turn, a lot of students or a lot of people who are watching this episode would get a lot of learning through my experiences. Okay, so that's the third thing, like doing a master's degree in management from abroad. That's the third future goal. And the last one, which is kind of my end goal, is to make my parents proud and to make them happy. Okay, because whatever I do today, whatever I am today, it's all because of my parents, and I'm doing it to make my parents happy, because I want to see them happy. I like to see them happy. They are the only ones where I see like when they're happy, I feel that whatever I've done is now like coming to reality. Okay, because is only what I care, because I want my parents to see their son in at some other stage, okay, in future, because every parent has that similar ambition, like a similar like kind of, they think that their student, like their like son should do all these things. So I want to make them proud, or I want to make them make them proud of myself for whatever things I've done, not for like a lot of like what you can say, like not kind of in the international thing, but at least nationally, I want to impact a lot of lives through all these things which I do. And these are some of my future goals which I think, but these are just goals. Okay, you have to try to like do a lot of planning when it comes to planning your future as well, because whatever you're planning right now might not be like executed the same way in future. Okay, so a proper plan and proper like schedule, if you have what like in the next 5 years what I need to do, so you will definitely be successful in the next 5 years, is what I feel. So the planning thing is very important. But these are some of my future goals which I have for now. Okay, I don't know like they'll be achieved or not, but I know one thing, that I'll make them achieve. Okay, I have that confidence in me, and I like whatever things I've done up till now, I've achieved a lot. Okay, I've achieved a lot of things, whatever targets I've planned. So similarly, these things would be achieved as well. But just the time is the factor. Okay, and I'm very patient person. Okay, I am willing to wait. Okay, howsoever how many years it takes, I'm willing to wait, because for me, the more I wait, the more big things I get in future. It's like that for me. So that's it, and I'll keep hustling, and hopefully I'll create an impact in students' lives, and all these things which I'm doing. Hopefully I make my parents proud. So that's all what I have for the future thing. Okay, so that's all I plan for the future.
Yes, definitely. I wish you will accomplish all the goals you have in your mind. And Omkar, one last message you want to give to the young entrepreneurs out there. Uh,
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to give it, because, like, let's say you can take my example, belonging to a middle class family, and like doing all these things, like funding my own startups at a young age. It was not easy for me, guys. Okay, to be honest, to be very honest, I had a lot of struggles. I had a lot of lack of skills. Okay, a lack of industry connections. All these, like, I was nowhere initially. Okay, but right now I have done a lot. I have accomplished a lot of things. Okay, it's not like I'm very superior. I am a student like you. Okay, I am similar to you. Okay, I am also a student. I just graduated recently. Like, I completed my exam. So it's like that. If I can do it, if a person like I can do it, even you can do it. Okay, you just have to take the first step. It's very important. Taking the first step is very important, and have a goal, a direction. Okay, don't do anything without thinking. Okay, try to see like what is the broader perspective of it. Okay, how can it impact your career, how can it impact your life. Be very serious when it comes to taking your career and life decisions, because in the end it's going to impact your future. Okay, if you take wrong decisions right now, if you don't discover your passion right now, you will face a lot of things in life. Okay, but for those things, to avoid those things, try to, as a student only, when you try to enter college, try to work on your skills. Okay, try to be in part of like doing such extracurricular activities, do internships. Okay, do research internships, do research projects. Okay, work on a lot of projects. Okay, work on yourself, basically work on developing all these skills which I told you: public speaking, marketing, communication skill, networking skill, all these skills. Okay, I'm not saying to like develop them right away. Work on yourself, put yourself in such situations, and try to develop it. Okay, over time, because everyone has a different learning ability. Okay, I like did all these things in the 3 years, because my learning abilities, I was very keen to learn all these things. But a person like who is not keen to learn, okay, it might take time for that person. Okay, because we all are different. Okay, we all have different perspectives, and it's what I feel, we all are entrepreneurs. Okay, we all have that thinking ability. We all have that creative thinking thing. Like, we can think a lot of unique things as well. We just need to take the first step. Okay, we just need to go out of the way. We just need to think something which is different and which can impact a lot of life. And do stupid ideas do make sense when you try to make them successful and you try to convert them. Okay, So right now, even if you are facing a lot of criticism, even if you are stuck in a pit hole, you will overcome all these things. Okay, you have to just be patient and think for a solution. Okay, which can get you out of there. Okay, solution based approach is also very important. Like whenever you are stuck somewhere, you should always think for possibilities. Okay, even if you are not seeing any possibility, you should always think. Okay, because there is a possibility which is hidden, you might not see. Okay, so it's very important to be very much goal oriented, be very much motivated, try to have big goals. Okay, in life, because we all have the power to do something. Okay, we all have the power to become successful. We just have to discover. Okay, we just have to look into ourselves and see. And all the things which I have done, you can also do it. Okay, at a young age, and it's not easy. Sorry, so it's not difficult. It's fairly easy. Okay, all the things which I shared my experiences, you can see I came from nowhere and now I'm doing very good, pretty good in it. Okay, so you need to be consistent as well. Okay, and if you do all these things, you will definitely be successful in whatever like career path you're taking it. Okay, it's not, this answer is like answer to all the career paths. It's not like just entrepreneurship. It's for everyone. If you devote time, if you work hard, if you like keep hustle, like keep the hustle going. Okay, and if you have big goals, you'll definitely be successful. Okay, you'll definitely achieve a lot in life. Okay, because there is a lot of things, there are a lot of problems in today's day and age which are not yet solved. Okay, which you can take a step ahead and solve. Okay, so you just have to take the first step and just be positive. Okay, and stay motivated throughout your journey. Okay, and don't let anyone tell you that you cannot do it. Okay, you have to prove them wrong and you have to say that I can do it, this is possible. Be very positive and you can ace your careers in style. It's what I feel. So that's the last thing which I say. And one more thing which I follow basically, and that's my key line where I share everywhere, that is follow your passion, chase your dreams. Okay, that's the end thing which I need to say, because I was nowhere. I had a passion for entrepreneurship and community management, and that passion led me to my dream. That passion led to yours. And right now I'm in a position where I can help students, we can help people. Okay, and share my knowledge so that it can help a lot of other folks who are preparing for their industry or maybe confused with their career path. So all these startups and all these communities has made me whatever I am today. And that's all I want to say, like on an ending note. So that's all from my side.
Yeah. So that were some of the most, wonderful answers and helpful answers for everyone, Omkar. And once again, thank you for being on this episode. It was a great pleasure having you here.
Yeah, it was in turn a great pleasure as well, Tanmay. And like I really enjoyed this whole podcast experience. And the questions you had for me were very much insightful. Okay, like a student or any person who is watching this episode would take in a lot of insight through my experience. And I had an amazing time, Tanmay, here. And thank you so much for inviting me. And wish you best of luck for your future endeavors as well. You are doing a great work by doing this Gen X podcast, and I think a lot of people should like listen to this beautiful podcast because it would help them like become successful in life. It's what I feel. So this opportunity you gave to me was definitely enjoyable. I learned a lot. Like I enjoyed a lot basically, and this conversation we had was very fruitful for me. And I enjoyed answering all the questions. All of them were relevant to my whatever I'm doing right now. So kudos to you and all the best for your channel as well as for your future endeavors.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Omkar, for these lovely words. And I'm sure these questions will definitely help for the young entrepreneurs out there who are yet to start their startups. And I'm sure this will help them a lot. So, guys, that's it for this video. And if you like this video and this episode, so do hit the like button and do share this video with all the other students as well. And lastly, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more interesting and upcoming podcast episodes. So that's it for now. I'll see you in the next one.